A client worth 40k in profit, a cost to acquire them of 4k. That's a 10x return. So why are most agency owners still asking, can I afford lead gen? The answer is that they've never run the numbers. And that one blind spot is why agencies stay stuck at 2 million whilst others break through $5 million and beyond. In this video, I'm going to break down the 4 numbers every agency owner should know cold and why a lot of agencies are massively under investing in growth without knowing it. The problem with gut feel decisions. So most agencies evaluate growth opportunities by asking how much does this cost, and they compare it to what feels comfortable and then make a decision based on gut feel. The problem is cost without context is meaningless. 5k a month could be extremely cheap or extremely expensive depending on the return you get from that 5k. You can't optimize what you don't measure. The question $5 million plus agencies ask instead is, what is the return per dollar invested? How does this compare to my client lifetime value, and what's my cost per acquired client? I spoke to an agency owner recently who asked exactly these questions before committing. He wanted to know the cost per conversion, expected close rate, and how it compared to his lifetime gross profit. He wasn't being difficult, he was being smart. So number 1, client lifetime gross profit. So this isn't just your retainer, it's what you keep after fulfillment costs multiplied by how long the client stays with you. So let's say you have a $5,000 a month retainer minus $1,500 in fulfillment costs per month. That's what it costs you to deliver. That gives you $3,500 in gross profit per month. So that's the profit you actually make from that engagement. If you have 12 months tenure on average, then you're looking at a $42,000 lifetime gross profit from that account. Most agencies only think about the monthly retainer, not about lifetime gross profit, and that is the wrong number that you need to be optimizing for. Now, if you want the full ROI calculator, which we'll go through shortly, so you can put in your own numbers, click the link in the description below and you can get access to this. So number 2 is close rate on qualified conversion. So what percentage of real sales conversations turn into clients? For example, 30%, right? This is going to vary by service, price point, and sales process, but you need to track this religiously because, as I said, what gets measured gets improved. Cost per conversation. So what does it cost to get a qualified prospect on a call? So this includes marketing spend, time invested, tools, and partners. And the truth is, after speaking to a lot of agencies have no idea what this number is. And cost per acquired client. So the formula for this is simple. It's the cost per conversation divided by your close rate. So let's say it costs you $400 for each conversation that you have, and you have a 10% close rate, right? You're looking at a $4,000 customer acquisition cost. Now you compare this to your lifetime gross profit to understand your real ROI. Now, a lot of the time people who have run the numbers will compare it to their lifetime value, which is fine, but what you really want to be optimizing for is lifetime gross profit, because that tells you how much you actually take home, and the point of running an agency is to make money at the end of the day. So let's run the numbers. Let's say you have a 40k lifetime gross profit, 4k CAC. That gives you a 10x return on investment. If you have a 30k lifetime gross profit and a 3k CAC, again, that gives you a 10x return on investment. If we go into here and just run a couple of example numbers, right, we'll say $5,000 monthly retainer, 12-month average client tenure, and we'll say 70% profit margins for the purposes of this. That gives you a lifetime gross profit of $42,000. Now let's say you have 10 conversations a month and you spend $4,000 to get those 10 conversations. That gives you a cost per call of $400. Now let's say, for example, you close 10% of those calls. In terms of ROI, that is going to give you a 60% lifetime revenue. As I said, $42,000 or $60,000 in lifetime revenue, $42,000 in lifetime gross profit. With a $4,000 CAC, you have a 10.5 to 1 LTGP to CAC. Break-even cost per call, so the max you can spend and still maintain a 5 to 1 ratio here is $840 cost per call. And as I said, if you want the link to this so you can put your own numbers in, it's going to be in the description below. The reason why most agencies underinvest in growth is because they look at the cost in isolation. So 5k per month for lead gen, that's a lot. But if you compare it to a 40k lifetime gross profit, it's incredibly cheap. And you need to remember that that is profit. As I said, you've already paid for fulfillment because you're including that in the lifetime gross profit calculation. So the real mindset shift is you need to go from can I afford this to how fast can I scale this if the numbers are right? Growth then becomes a math problem rather than a guessing game. So how to calculate your numbers? Calculate your lifetime gross profit. So as I said, average monthly retainer minus fulfillment costs multiplied by the average client tenure. You want to be conservative here and use actual data, not hope, right? Track your close rate. So how many qualified conversations became clients? How many qualified conversations does it take to generate one client over the past 6 to 12 months? If you don't know this number, you need to start tracking that today. Then figure out your cost per conversation. So total spend on pipeline generation divided by total conversations generated. And you want to include all costs there. And ideally, you want to break that down by channel, right? So you might have ads, you might have email, whatever that is. Break that down and then calculate your customer acquisition cost. So that's the cost per conversation divided by your close rate. And then comparing that number to your lifetime gross profit is going to give you your lifetime gross profit to CAC ratio. What does the ratio tell you? If you're getting a 10-to-1 or higher, you're in an extremely good territory and you should probably be putting a lot more money into growth. 3-to-1 to 10-to-1 is a healthy range. If you're under 3-to-1, you need to optimize before scaling. If you know these 4 numbers, then growth really stops becoming a guessing game. So that's lifetime gross profit, close rate, cost per conversation, and cost per acquired client. You can actually calculate whether an investment makes sense before you actually make it. And what a lot of agencies find is that they've been massively underinvesting or investing in the wrong things. When you see a 10x return on client acquisition, can I afford this becomes the wrong question. So as I said, if you want that full ROI calculator so you can put your own numbers in, just click the link in the description below. Also, if you want us and our team to come in and analyze these numbers for you and suggest a plan, click the second link in the description below and that will take you to our website where you can book a call with me directly. Thanks.